Good evening, everybody. We
Hello.
are live. We are live. Yeah, just checking that.
Yeah. The way you kind of slowly, you left a gap, and I was like, "Oh, do I need to say something?"
That was my professional. This stream isn't quite where I want it to be. Moment, as we know and love that, right? We know and love that.
Yeah, we are nothing but professional here.
Yeah, and smooth operators, smooth openers, always smoothly opening, smoothly closing. Yeah, exactly.
We're very good at the closing.
Yeah, in and out, you barely know we were there. Anyway, welcome to the World of Horror, or just World of Horror, not the World of Horror. They went the Facebook route, so. Have you seen, heard, played, known about this game,
I
Sean?
didn't think I did, and then I looked on Steam and I found the I saw the page and I was like, oh yes, that scary thing is something I recognise.
Okay, yeah.
I'll drop the store page into chat. Evening Nacho.
Evening Nacho. So a friend, our mutual friend Tom, recommended this a while ago because I like Arkham Horror in its many forms. I'm, with complex caveats, I am a fan of, I suppose, the Lovecraftian mythos and the writing and Lovecraft's kind of cosmic mythologies that he put together for that, and other writers were involved in as well. And this, as the store page probably says, kind of borrows quite heavily from that with a Japanese writer as well, who I have forgot. I think it's Ito, but again, it's on the store page as Sean has put there. Has inflected that as well. So lots of influences. It's a very retro looking game, as you can tell. It's in 1/2-bit. So
1/2. What does that mean?
So when I click new story, when we get going, we get the option to be in 1 or 2-bit.
Oh, cool.
So I'm assuming we'll probably go 1 and just keep it like really pared back. But I mean, you might have opinions on that. I had, So I haven't played a lot. You'll be surprised to know. Shock horror. Dave doesn't play his games as much as Sean does ahead of stream. But I think that's okay on this kind of game because I didn't want to.
Probably makes sense.
I didn't want to see too much. It's not like the kind of building or management games that you bring, where working out systems alongside you would be maybe less exciting. This is going to have like stories and stuff. The mechanics we'll get into, I'm sure, as we start playing. So I'm going to click new story here. And this is where you get to kind of customize the look of the playthrough, right? So
I like the kind of the ghosting on the mouse cursor there.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of stuff like that, and I think we'll get into that, but my jury's out on some of this stuff, okay? But I think you'll love it, but I'm not sure. To me, there's some things we'll get into in a bit. So you can be 1-bit or 2-bit, which kind of, I suppose, like 2-bit does help a little bit. Forgive the pun. But also you can change like the shading of this, the colouring, which I actually think is really important because like when it was bright white, I found it quite hard to look at. Right. So do you have any preference?
Go through them again. I definitely feel some of them are easier on my eyes.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But I do kind of.
Gosh, the pink is quite important.
God, yeah, don't do the pink.
The red is a bit much as well.
Oh yeah. And like it needs to be kind of light but not too bright, right?
Yeah, that was my feeling.
That kind of green, the kind of almost like Game Boy looking one that popped up.
Yeah.
Probably. But aren't you just randomizing so you can't possibly get back to the ones that you're...
No. So this is the arrow. If you hit randomize, it does.
It was the one on the far end.
You're right, you reckon?
Probably.
Sorry, this is probably giving like people some problems.
Yeah. You just like everyone with epilepsy just
sorry.
collapsed.
Like that one? Yeah. Is that too harsh still?
No. That's okay, I think.
What about that?
Whatever you... Yeah, what's the... Yeah, that one.
Okay, cool. That one. So this is 1-bit, and then there's 2-bit.
Go do them again.
1 bit, 2 bit,
and 2-bit.
So I assume it's like these darker.
Oh, 2-bit is 2 colors.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, let's leave the 2 colors on.
You want to do 2 colors? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I think that will help me. Like I was playing on 1 bit because I thought I wanted to see it in its purest form, and I think actually I did struggle a little bit earlier with some of the kind of panels and stuff. So right, okay, well let's try this. Okay, so it is kind of our first time playing World of Horror together. So we're going to play with the spine-chilling story of School Scissors, and then we're going to see if we can get to some more of these challenging playthroughs, right? So, so Sidio Shiokawa, Japan, 1980X. Ooh, mysterious. Something strange is happening in our town. Robed figures can be seen gathering in the woods at night. People are going missing. Disgusting creatures are terrorizing the seaside. The rapid technological progress of the modern era brings comfort, but also new unknown threats. Yeah, I know. It's deep. Old gods. Sorry, Sean?
I just like sellotape on cell phones, I said, because there's a little bit of tape on the cell phone.
Yeah, that's progress for you. Old gods, malicious eldritch beings who ruled the earth eons ago, are awakening as reality starts to crumble. It gets kind of right to it, really. Armed with clues, spells, and your dwindling sanity, you'll investigate mysteries across the city and in realms beyond. So that's very much like Arkham Horror games, like for sure. An old train slows down and stops at its last station. The end of the world is at hand, and you finally arrived in the doomed town. Okay, so this is kind of like your basic screen here. You get messages down here. There's a lot going on here that I haven't really delved too much into. But like, so we will, I think, do I have to click on the story? Yeah. So you've been following the weird cult for weeks now. I don't know what weird cult that is, by the way. Barely surviving the encounter with the skin hag at the nursery. It's a race against It's a race against time, and you can't rest until our town is safe. Now this is kind of something like I did, like initially when I played this, because I played this mission like once at least, and I was like, "What skin hag, right? Like what are they talking about?" And actually, I think it made me think about like whenever I played Eldritch Horror the board game or Arkham Horror the living card game. Often those things will start with this weird kind of nod to something that you've not done yet. Like you've escaped the robed figure, and you're like, well, what robed figure? I have no idea who that is. So I'm guessing this is kind of a nice kind of nod to that. Or it might come up something later that like a skin hag is something that we have to... I have no idea.
What I find a little bit disturbing is that I was born in April of 1984.
Ooh. That is... I mean, that's just disturbing full stop, but yes. Okay, so combat tutorials, I'm going to put that on so that we can see it. Right? Like it's not very involved, and I think it'll probably help me anyway because I died in my first combat. So okay, so let's start the mystery. So, spine-chilling story of School Scissors. Another boy from your school has disappeared. Rumour has it a terrible woman has returned from their grave, a woman with the widest smile and the sharpest pair of scissors. So we're going to pick this mystery to investigate. So again, it's kind of like RPG stuff. So you can like look on the right here, and you've got strength and dexterity and kind of all that kind of stuff. Right, the school is eerily quiet at this hour. Your missing friend has left you a notebook. If the rumours are true, to stop the tall woman with scissors, one of the most scariest things you'll ever hear, you'll need to perform a ritual to force her material form to appear in our dimension. Accomplishing this requires first the drawing of an eldritch sigil and then the lighting of holy candles. You can only hope your friend has left them somewhere around the school.
Dave,
Good evening,
would you
Frederick.
like to write down notes on post-it notes about this?
Only if you're going to then thread them together with string. All right.
Yeah. All right, we're looking for an Eldritch Sigil.
Yeah, you don't have to write notes on this, dude. Don't worry. We will remember that. Maybe as they get more and more involved, we will appreciate that. But I'm pretty sure there's like a log,
some kind of
Okay, so like we can do a couple of things down here. So
I think have you?
Nice, yeah. What's great is I actually do have quite a new monitor, and so I'm seeing this crisp CRT in like, I don't know, like 165 hertz or whatever.
All the colors, the color reproduction, like you're seeing that gray, like that's the real gray. That's the gray the designer wanted you to see.
It's popping. It is popping. So we get some options here. We can access our storage. We can explore the school. We can perform the ritual, but that seems a bit premature since we don't have any of the stuff.
Can you just try? Like, could you just click that? What happens if you click that button?
I'm pretty sure I die. Do you want me to click the button?
I kind of want to see what happens when you click that button. Like what?
Okay, but I'm gonna have to click through that story again. That's what I'm saying. Like,
okay.
Because I'm pretty confident we'll die. All right. So, what do you think? Do you want to explore the school or check out the school lockers?
Right. So, what are we looking for? We're looking for a drawing. We first need to draw the Eldritch Sigil and then light holy candles. So we need to find the holy candles, right?
Yeah.
So they'd probably be in maybe they'd be in someone's locker. I feel like let's go locker.
Locker. Okay.
And then at least we'll go to locker.
Okay, so we're in the locker room. All right.
Ooh, those are sigils.
There are some sigils there. Yeah. The usual kind of locker room sigils that you could see in any school. So I'm going to try. Oh God, I clicked. What's that? So that's that's something not great. What's in this one?
What I used to always hate about being a teacher was when I'd go on like some training and then I'd come back and there were like sigils all over my desk because the supply teacher hadn't stopped them.
Yeah. Well, don't you think that might have been the supply teacher?
Maybe
channeling the Eldritch gods as ever.
And then every now and then you curse my bloody whiteboard pen.
So we have found a wooden bat in a locker.
Okay.
It's got stats. Yeah. Slightly dusty, and we can equip it.
What does STR mean? Like strength, right?
Strength, yeah.
So I'm not a big
Oh, sorry.
Let's imagine. I don't really know much about this kind of I've played the odd RPG.
Okay.
But really, this is kind of a bit, not entirely all with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I am assuming STR is always strength. Dex is always dexterity. Per is perhaps a new one on me, but could be perseverance, something like that.
Not perception.
Could be perception. Yeah. See, you know more than you appreciate on this. CHR is always charisma. I'm not 100% sure on that. Might be knowledge.
Knowledge, yeah, that seems. And there's a brain there,
So this is your reason, and this is your stamina.
Yeah.
So they're like health and sanity, basically from other.
FND your find?
Yeah, that's got to be right. Like that's I can't think of anything else that would be. So we can inspect this baseball bat used by a school student. Okay. And then all of these things are kind of grayed out. We can't do them, but we can equip this. So I mean, I'm assuming. So in slot A we've got a wooden bat now. I don't know why it doesn't disappear from the environment. Interestingly enough, but I feel safer with a baseball bat in my hand. I don't know about you guys, right?
Especially a magical baseball bat that leaves the baseball bat there.
Yeah, it kind of duplicates itself. That's
pretty good.
That's fair enough. We need a tiny key to open this locker.
A tiny key.
A tiny key.
Key.
Okay. All right, we don't have a tiny key yet. So what does this?
This game is in early access, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it said at the front it's a beta product, so they might. Right. It hasn't glitched on me yet, but So I don't know if that's technically early access or whatever. I'm assuming that's how okay, so apparently our friends left us a notebook. So if I access our stored items, we can see our friend's diary here. Because I'm the kind of guy that runs around schools.
You can't read a friend's... What?
Should you be reading
a friend's diary?
I kind of feel like it was given to us for this very purpose. All right, so
we don't know that. All we know is that we fought a hag.
Yeah, true. Well, I think it said at the start, like a friend's left a note.
Okay.
Okay.
Hang on, wait a second. Are you saying when you find people's diaries, you're like, oh yeah, this guy just left a note for me?
In times of crisis, yeah, I think I probably would. And look, I'm proved right here. Like, so Maru is acting strange. I need to talk with her after class. I hope she didn't attempt the ritual herself.
Ooh.
Okay, relevant. I've hidden the candles in one of the classrooms. Tomorrow, I will try to perform the ritual.
Yeah.
Okay, and then this sigil can weaken the demon for a while. Careful with the lines. So, okay, other pages seem irrelevant. Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, I guess we're trying to draw this.
No, that's not the sigil. That's like a sigil to weaken it.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily the sigil that's going to
summon it, right? Okay, you think. Okay.
I wouldn't have thought, anyway. That's
fair dues. So that's all we've got in storage at the moment because we're wielding our baseball bat, obviously.
Yeah.
So that's the school lockers. Let's go explore the school.
Yeah, we need to find that class. We need to find a tiny key. Yeah.
And some...
don't do it now, but if you push Q at any point.
No, I haven't. I tried to do it in the menu at one point, and I was thinking, does it restart the game? Because there was something in a menu that I was trying to get out of, but no. It's tempting though, isn't it? There's going to be a point later where we just press Q for the hell of it.
We will end someone I'll add that to my list, right? Push Q.
Okay. So we need a tiny key to get into this trophy case as well, because it
can't be the same tiny key, right?
Maybe there's like a tiny key ring of tiny keys, like 10 tiny keys. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. So you've got
that baseball bat.
Yeah. Which presumably...
Wait, hang on. Why are we stealing medals, Dave? Why do you want to steal medals? You had a go at me for like knocking down things last week. Why
I did. I had a lot of goes at you last week. Sorry, I must have been in a kind of quite a negative place last week. I don't know. You're right. I mean, we don't have to. It's only one option. But the thing in the middle says there's like a valuable medal inside.
Yeah.
That's a trophy case, right? Like.
Yeah.
Okay. So should we check the plaques and trophies rather than?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Luck check success. Huh. It seems that the person involved with the current case was a prize-winning swimmer. So we got some XP for that. I don't really know. Which person involved, like the hag or something? Okay, so we haven't found the blessed chalk, which I think we need to draw the sigil with, and we haven't found the candles yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of these chalk.
How long has it been since you used chalk?
Too long. Chalk is so much better than whiteboard pens.
Fair dues.
Like chalk, like.
What I haven't figured out yet is whether or not like I can interact with this panel, like for the environment. Like I don't think so. Okay, so we're trying to find we've got to find the items. So I think we're going to keep exploring the school. Okay, so we're
non-Euclidean 101.
Yeah, thank you. Euclidean 101. Okay, impossible angles and seemingly moving lines make your head spin. So we don't have the Ikumi ally. So I can't choose this option. It's kind of blacked out. So we have to stare in disbelief.
Okay, staring.
And how is this even possible? We lost one reason because, like, maths that doesn't make sense upsets us.
Non-Euclidean geometry is no joke.
Is it evil? Is it the something evil that's stalking the empty school corridors?
I don't think it is, like... No.
No, not just.
We found an additional page from your friend's diary. It seems that the blessed chalk was left on the roof.
To the roof.
The roof.
Okay, so we can try and peek outside, or we can continue. I think we get to the roof by exploring the school, but we could take a look outside, or we could not. What do you think?
Continue exploring the school, because I feel. Well, how do you get on the roof?
On the roof, you find the girl your friend was talking about. In one hand, she holds a bag. In the other, a pair of bloody scissors.
Do you mean bloody scissors or bloody scissors?
I think we mean bloody scissors. This is Maru, right? So, I haven't fought Maru in my other fights. Right, so what you do is the combat here is like turn-based and it's a bit programmy, which presumably you'll like.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So, I'm wondering, so we've got wooden bat in slot A. So does that mean? Okay. So what I can do is I can put my kicks, in here, and it kind of logs it in this timeline here.
Right, I see.
So kick here, so I can get up to 3 kicks. I've got time for 3 kicks. But if I
can you hit it with the bat, or is that where you have to equip the bat first?
If I have to what? Sorry, with the bat?
Do you have to equip the bat with that butt?
I thought I did. I thought slot A meant I had a bat in my hand, if I'm honest. But I don't know if this is because this is tutorial. But it will only let me kick 3 times. So I've kicked. Okay. I kicked Maru and she lost some health and I missed with one of that, and then she stabbed me with her scissors.
Okay.
So with time you will discover new combat moves available through the action filter, but first you need a weapon. So it's telling me to try and do this with finding an improvised weapon, but actually we have a wooden bat. So I'm going to do what it tells me to, but then I'm just going to hit it with my bat. So do I have time to do both of those things? Yes. So we're going to launch that sequence. So we find something, we find a broken bottle, and then we smack it with a bat.
You found it? Okay.
So we have a broken bottle here. And that's damage 3, speed 9, chance to hit 70%. So we can compare that to our wooden bat. So it's not as good, right? It's not as good as our bat. I mean, the speed, the bat does more damage. So here we can see here,
the bat does more damage than a broken bottle.
Yeah, I don't know on that one. They both seem pretty. Would you pick the bat over the?
If I was the one getting hit, yes, I'd rather get hit by a bat.
Okay, cool.
Than broken glass, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but I mean, then the bat's got more reach, hasn't it? So right, I'm just going to equip it so that the kind of tutorial gets off my back, kind of thing. So we're going to hit it with the broken bottle. We're kind of doing okay. She's only got 4 HP left, so I'm hoping that we'll be able to fight. So what I can do is I can clear it as well and add in a strong attack here.
Right, okay.
Okay, so let's see if that's enough to... we missed twice, so that's not good.
That's not good.
It's not good. So I'm going to actually equip the bat again, maybe. Because it does more damage.
Chance to hit. They've both got the same chance to hit.
Well, they do. It says you don't have time to change your equip, but I thought I just did that. Anyway. Okay. So I can attack. I do have other options as well, right? Like I can choose to lower my experience by 5 and raise my chance to hit. I can use a one-time stamina. Oh, so it needs to be stamina. It's like a desperate action. I can do some spiritual things. Part of a ritual. Okay, don't know what this does. I can bow, I can pray, or there's some defensive actions. That's what I was trying to look for. So, can't run. Brace for impact. Okay, so we can kind of brace. And we can dodge. But they take quite a lot of time. So I don't know if the best offense is defense here. So let's just attack, strong attack. We'll try it again. She's only got 4 HP. Ah, there we go. We killed her. I think it's a good point, Nacho. There's a lot of variables to that one. I think the reach. Oh, nice. So Sean, that's nice. Getting your lecturer poll type vibe on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like I would. Yeah. The unanimous, pretty much.
Unanimous, but bat getting hit by a bat. Yeah. I guess the question is, I won't let me vote. What I would be interested in is like, but then like it's easier to run away from someone who's swinging a bottle at you than someone swinging a bat, right? You've got that extra 2.5, 3 foot like reach on a bat.
Yeah,
so that's my only like now Nacho says a lot of variables. Okay, so we killed Maru, who I think went a bit crazy because of the ritual, and we found the blessed chalk. Okay, so we can now draw the sigil here. Now,
right.
You copy the sigil as best as you can on the blackboard. Hopefully it'll be enough. So we can redraw it.
Oh.
Right. And I didn't do this in my first time through, and I don't know if I regret, like, if I should do that or not. I don't know.
So say that again. You could.
So you can redraw it, and I didn't the first time I did this, and I'm wondering if I should have.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to click one and see what happens. Oh, okay, so it does change.
Oh, it does. Yeah, it actually changed the.
It says
is that a random?
Well, that's why. See, because I went. If you go into the storage and you look in the diary, I keep clicking on that as if it's. So this sigil will weaken the demon for a while, but it doesn't look like a real. It doesn't really look like it, does it? It looks like a kind of kid's drawing of a. Like a sunset over a mountain. That's what I'm seeing there.
Yeah, but that isn't the sigil you're trying to draw, right? You're trying to draw the summoning sigil.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah, I didn't know it when you said that. Can I put this? Let's equip the bat, because I think the bat is better. And store this. Let's store the broken bottle as well. Put the broken bottle in my briefcase like a real... So, I don't know, is the question. That's the thing I'm not sure about, right? Like, I'm not sure about if that's... I mean, how many sigils are we supposed to draw here? Like, it kind of feels like you're saying there's 2 potential sigils, and I don't know. Mm-hmm. I thought I was only looking for 1.
Well, no, I think you're only looking for 1, but I think you found one that isn't the one.
Okay.
You want.
You think my friend's diaries?
Okay.
Okay, there's a freaky.
What is that?
There's a freaky face there.
Yeah.
See, like, I don't think I can click on this. Okay. The sound of scissors is getting louder. You must hurry. Okay, so I still only have these options.
Can you explore again?
Yeah, we don't have the candles yet. Sorry, nose is really itchy.
But they are in a classroom.
Yeah, so I assume she's kind of looking through. It's like the journeying of this is kind of weird. Suddenly, everything just goes. Okay, okay, so we've got another fight here with Mr.
With, like,
Messy
static
eyes.
face man?
Static time warper face man. Yeah. I mean, it's the bad guy we all know and love. So, I'm only down to 14 stamina here, so I'm taking a little bit of beating. So I think we do need to start using some some defensive stuff as well. So I can...
Can he just only time travel his, like, head or something?
I think he's time traveling everything but his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I thought there was a dodge, right? A dodge takes 120. Brace for impact takes 104. So if
So those time, is that time?
Yeah, time. That's kind of like your limiting factor.
I'm trying to remember some other games that have this kind of similar system. I suppose it's almost like a XCOM style thing, right? If you have so many action points. Well, is that thing, or like VATS in Fallout, but it all comes from like, is it CRPGs? What's the
yeah, like well, I suppose, yeah, I don't know if it's C or J, to be honest. I mean, like things like I always think of Final Fantasy VII. You choose your actions for your characters, and then
yeah. What does CRPG stand for? I don't actually know.
Is it not Chinese? I would assume the C was just China, but because JRPG is Japanese role playing game, right? So I assumed C was China, but I could be wrong. Could be Cuban, for all I know.
Classic role playing games.
That also makes more sense than Chinese, to be honest. Okay, so what do we do? I whacked him for 6 health, and he steals some of my lifespan. That doesn't seem fair.
Hang on, what?
Yeah, I don't know what that means. It can't be good, though. It can't be good.
Probably not.
Right, what can we do as well as... okay, we can... Okay, cool. So I'm just going to all out... I'm just going to go for it, right? Like, I'm just going to hit this guy really hard until he goes away. Okay, so I hit him for 6, but missed. I feel older and weaker. Again, I don't know if... Okay, next to this affects stacks. Oh, okay, you can... okay, that's good. Right, so he's got 8 HP. I seem to be hitting him for 6 each time. So... Yeah. If we attack with our weapon... Oh, that's on the strong attack. Okay. Right, so here's what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to try and get 2 good... like regular attacks in. Or I could try and get 3 good regular... No. Okay. Right, so I've got 2 kind of like prepared boosted attacks and 1 unboosted attack. And all we've got to do is hit him twice out of the 3. That's my thinking.
What's the boosted attack mean?
It gives it 10% more chance to hit, I think. And we defeated him. Yay! Okay. And we found the holy candles. Yay!
Nice. Is that the sigil?
Everything's ready for many sigils. Right. Okay, everything's ready for the ritual. So let's perform the ritual.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Wait, what's that? No, but I was ready with the ritual. The sigil and holy candles. So again, I think this is the nasty lady.
Hag?
No. God, what is it? The scissors thing. The scissors lady thing.
Yeah, I told you I should have written that stuff down.
Good point. The sigil and holy candles don't seem to have any effect on the horrible monster. Had you drawn it wrong? Apparently so.
Had you drawn it wrong?
I don't know. It said it seemed to be the right thing. We tried it twice. Frozen in fear, you watch as the twitching horror gets closer and closer. It raises its enormous scissors and croaks, "Am I beautiful?" Prepare for combat. Twisting.
Hang on. Is it salad fingers?
Twisting and twitching, the demon woman enters the classroom, cackling menacingly, "Am I beautiful?" Okay. So that... I don't know what part of her that is. Is it the head? Is it the torso? I don't know. But holy smokes, she has 30 HP and she will deal all damage. So oh my god, if she hits me, my reason is going to be in trouble. Because I think she does -2 to both. So I'm going to kind of try and dodge my way through this. If I can remember where dodges there is. Oh god, it takes 120 dex. Okay. So actually, no, we're gonna brace. We're gonna brace for impact, and we're gonna hit back. Oh, it's only got 47. How is she so hard to hit? Oh, okay. So is that defines who? Okay. I'm just gonna miss her loads. Okay, so this. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna stack this until.
Hang on, is that several heads that are sewn together? But on the side?
Oh God, it is! Good spot. Did someone in the chat point that out to you, or did you find it yourself?
I was just looking at it and I was like, huh.
Yeah, yeah. God, no, I would never have got that. Good work. Right, so I couldn't have another. Okay, so we're kind of trying to make it like we've got a chance to hit here because like she's so hard to hit.
Mm-hmm.
So we're bracing, and okay, we got her for 4. That's not too bad. And then she stabbed me for 1 stamina and 1 reason. So that bracing works quite well because like going from 2 to 1 is quite significant for us. So I'm gonna try that again. Like that kind of, I don't know. Do the maths work out on that for us? We can take 6 more hits if we do 6 times 4 is 24. Oh God, no, we don't. Well, we can do it on the last one. That's my plan. We're kind of quite close to maximizing that. No, we missed. I don't know how we can beat this woman when she's at full strength. I think we need to get that ritual done. So I'm gonna just like, it's 47. I'm just gonna swing for the fences.
About just throwing the bat?
Throwing the bat. Oh, I suppose you can. Oh God, you can prepare to guarantee it. So prepare.
Surely the chance of getting a headshot is 3 times normal.
Yeah. Maybe give them to that feedback. Like we did the maths, and the headshot should be guaranteed.
Let's open up the early access page.
Oh my God, she brutalized me. All right, so I've sustained a new injury, slit mouth.
Oh, nice. I just noticed that you're kind of you're starting to,
getting messed up. Yeah, and our slit mouth is -1 charisma, -1 strength. Great.
Is that the same person?
No, I think that's supposed to be me. Oh, what do you mean? Is it? Yeah. I don't know. I think maybe I've just got a hood on. I don't know. So she's gonna kill us. Like, there's no way I'm doing 20 damage. Mm-hmm. I think I can keep us in it for another turn. Unless these spiritual actions. Part of a ritual. Okay. Gain 1 stamina, cost 2 reason. Definitely can't do that. So, yeah, I've only really got defensive options here. The support actions don't do a lot. No. Oh, okay. So, I can desperate struggle to double my damage. So, we can go out swinging. Just prep.
Yeah, good point made. How does having a bigger smile lower charisma?
It's maybe too big. Oh God. Frozen in fear, you watch as she gets closer. Her sharp scissors are slowly cutting through your cheeks, even as she asks you, "Am I beautiful?" So we died. We got killed by Scissor Woman.
Another head.
Okay. Yeah. So these things all probably mean stuff like incoming doom and chosen timeline and how long.
Interesting. Like, something that immediately pops out to me on that screen is "in this run." Is this a run-based game, Dave?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it is. It's kind of. I think so. I think so. Like, I haven't delved into it enough really to get a sense of that. Like, what carries on. Right.
Mm-hmm.
What carries on? Our computer reboots at the start.
Nice.
Yeah. I thought you'd like this. I don't know if I can. Can I type anything? No.
Oh, okay. Like minus like the points that it just got. Mods. So, are there mods and stuff?
I guess so. Yeah.
That's cool.
I haven't explored that. So like I don't think. Okay, so saving and loading is disabled due to rework and we'll be back after Halloween content. So I don't know then if like it should be run based and we're just seeing it at an awkward time or not. I don't know. But we can choose like more difficult things, or do you want to try and get this school scissors thing right? I
think I'd like to see other things.
Okay. So
I think
right.
What are they, so you've got this. What's this quick play business all about?
So yeah, quick play is so you randomly select a character, old guard, background, and more. So it's kind of like, I think this would be like the kind of Spelunky version for this game or whatever, where it's just kind of it's not a preset thing. Like, so I've played. That's the second or third time I've done these school scissors, right? And there like in the other runs I didn't get to see Maru on the roof.
It is a roguelite.
Yeah.
They're saying it here. Navigate a hellish roguelite reality, turn-based combat and unforgiving choices.
Yeah.
Experiment with your deck of event cards to discover new forms of classic horror in every playthrough.
So the event cards, I think, are those kind of things. Like I found, like the Time Warper. Like I think he was an event, because you, like when you choose to explore the school, you kind of like go to a new place, and the deck shuffles and then gives you an event.
So that's interesting. So it's behind the scenes, it's a card game, but it's not really showing you that. Yeah,
because it's not really. It's more like a Rolodex rather than like a card game, right? Like I think you say card game, I think something like Magic or Hearthstone or Slay the Spire or something like that, or even a deck building game or whatever. This is more like it's got a deck of events, but you could view them as branching paths as much as anything, I suppose, couldn't you? Or maybe you couldn't. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I guess I'd say like the desk.
Yeah. I mean, like I think like the idea of like I love the idea that the first mission is about scissors, and I'm exactly like Nacho. The first thing I thought was has someone been running with them? Is that like that's how ingrained that is? So we can try the extracurricular activity, which is again their
let's do it.
Kind of standard mission. Okay, cool. So something strange.
So we were just doing the easy mode.
Yeah. Well, it's like your introductory thing. And may I remind you, we died. We did not successfully.
You died. We watched you die.
Well, okay.
I mean, like, you know.
I feel like you had some say.
We had a long discussion about bats and bottles, and I don't think you necessarily listened to our point of view there.
Well, the number was higher on the bat. Like, it's not that I didn't listen; it's more that the game, disagreed with you.
This feels kind of like when you were making those houses all diagonal to each other because the numbers were bigger.
Yeah, I mean, I just do what the games tell me. That doesn't necessarily make me evil or wrong. Or the.
Hey, I didn't say evil. You said that. I feel like now there's a.
Okay, Chuktakarasu, which is definitely not how you say that, is once again awakening from its slumber.
God.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if it's not scissors, Sean, it's going to be spiders, isn't it?
Yeah.
Blinded by its impossible to satisfy hunger, it has started to tear down the walls of its cocoon prison. Stop it before it devours us all. Old God's rule, you can't escape from combat encounters. Okay, didn't really know I could do that. Anyway, backstory, world of horror, character exclusive perk cards only. Good talk.
This is neat. Like now I'm getting it. Like now I think I get it more.
Sorry, yeah.
all the warnings of like, are you sure is this the first time you've been playing? Are you an expert? You shouldn't continue here unless you've been. Yeah.
But so that might have been my bad for not kind of introing the game enough. So apologies for that.
No, it's actually quite good to discover that. in a way.
So, and again, first time playing, click here. Okay, cool. So, welcome and thank you for trying World of Horror. Inspired by adventure games from the 80s, the visual overload may be a little disorientating in the beginning. Yes, it was. In this short tutorial, I'll do my best to explain various elements and prepare you to fight the horrible gods. Sorry, my nose is really itchy tonight. What's weird about this is that this is on the second mission. So, like, I wonder if, like, there's something like this. Why we're not seeing something like this on the first mission, right? Okay,
yeah, I don't know.
So here you will interact with the surrounding solve mysteries and fight enemies. Okay, that's the user face. Here you'll manage your inventory. Okay, cool. Yeah, I guess maybe this was the original tutorial and now they've added a mission instead, so where you can kind of play it a little bit more to get that.
Yeah.
That's you. World of Horror. Oh, this is here. It has RPG elements and your attributes to describe in 6 basic stats.
Yeah, okay. I think like Frozen said, it's probably. I wonder if it will be. I bet it's an artifact of early access.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
I wonder if they made this bit first and then they added that initial.
I think that would make sense, right? Like, because as much as that, I think this is really helpful, but that first mission does kind of get you to where you need to be without that. Like, so yeah. So here we go. What you and I did, like, is this a strength? Right. So yeah, stamina. Once you reach 0, character dies. Dexterity.
Okay, what did we?
Perception. You were right.
Perception.
Got that.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Did we get knowledge? Obviously. Charisma. Yeah. And funds. We chose the wrong vowel.
Yeah.
So that's just the monies. The money. You could just use $signs for that. That's what I would have done. Although that is the sign for yen, maybe. But then I bet us ignorant Westerners probably wouldn't know the sign for yen or whatever. No. So they've had to use funds. Okay. So continue. Right. Okay. Inventory. Yep. You can keep up to 4 items. You can expect there. Okay. Equipment slots. Do not count towards fun. A, weapon used in combat. Okay. B and C, trinkets and armor. Okay, that's good to know. As you progress through your playthrough, more helpful tips will appear. Turn the combat tutorial on. No, because we've got that by now, right?
No, we've done that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Come on. We're down with the combat.
Yeah, we killed 2 of the last 3 enemies.
We just, have some opinions on bats versus bottles. That's all.
Yeah, that's right. We did. So do we want to go to...
like, you say opinions, we say facts, but,
that's fact. So lighthouse or your home? What do you reckon? Go home first or head out to the lighthouse?
We're finding spiders. Like, is that, like...
We don't know yet. Like...
Oh, dude, it's spiders, isn't it? It's always bloody spiders.
Yep. And, spiders always live in lighthouses, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the ominous lighthouse has been closed down for longer than you can remember. So obviously we go in, right?
So is funds? So is fund? Is that like a thing in role-playing games? Like having
your funds? I guess so. Like, I don't know. Like money. Money's obviously a thing, but I don't know what the kind of default name for it would be.
Yeah. Ooh. This is a paranoid person, right? This is like there's a bloody spider behind here, Dave. There's going to be a big spider. That's why there's so many locks. Why don't we just go home?
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Well, we can't do anything until we've got the keys, right? Like.
We don't need to know what's behind that door.
No. Anything that needs 5 padlocks, we should just leave well alone.
Yes.
Okay. So. What's weird then is that we go to our house to find these keys. You check your mailbox, it's empty. Okay. That one doesn't seem to be empty.
And it seems to be kind of moving.
Yeah. I couldn't click on it. Oh, I did click on it and didn't really do anything. Back in your home, you think of your next move. You're not currently investigating any weird mystery. Okay. I thought I was. Maybe we're not. Recent newspaper clippings and notes collected in the next room should point you in the right direction. Okay, so we've got to choose an action.
This has given me a real vibe of those like choose your own adventure books that used to scare the crap out of me when I was a kid.
Did they?
They really did. They were talking about the like it was like these survival ones where they were like like a plane crash on a mountain and they had to survive, and there was something really quite horrific about the whole thing. And I don't know why it affected me. Like I really kind of like, so maybe my dad shouldn't have given me those.
I mean, I just played like the fantasy ones where you hit a dwarf over the head with a hammer or something, and inexplicably died on page 225. And got annoyed.
No, I had the one about like survival situations and dying on mountains, freezing to death, and getting murdered by people.
Yeah, that's what the hell? Take a peep. Oh, I hope that's the front door peephole. Right, so next room point you in the... Okay, so we're going to... I can click to move. Okay, so that's the first time I've been able to kind of click in the world and do something. But there might have been stuff I've missed.
I wonder if they were trying different ways, because this feels quite different to the school one.
Yeah, inexplicable and morbid events have been plaguing your town for some time now. You've marked down 5 of them, hoping that there's something connecting them. See, we're getting the string out, join in the...
What if
notes. Yeah.
we give everyone bottles?
Bottles? Or like...
Yeah, they can break the bottles and then they can defend it against it.
That's it. So they drink the beer first, then they break the bottle.
People we don't like, we give them bats.
Yeah. Again, like I feel like we need to find some way of like... I don't know, in having a West Side Story style showdown about this, then obviously, because you're not going to be satisfied until, basically I hit you with a bat and you glass me with a bottle. That's where this is going to end up.
Yeah, just to figure out which one is more painful.
Yeah. You've marked out 5 of them, hoping that something connects them. You can tackle these 5 mysteries in any order you want. Beware, your decisions will haunt you and influence yet unsolved mysteries. Okay, so always haunted by my own decisions, as I imagine you are too, Sean. So we got... Okay, so... Interesting. So we've got the school scissors story here. Right, so we could go back to it and find out one of the other endings that isn't slit mouth.
Nice.
Okay. Bloody brief on beckoning bulletin. Rotten report of a rancid ramen. Far out fable of a fear fest.
Can we do the ramen one? That one sounds pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah. I thought that was supposed
Which
to be
one
fun.
sounds least like it might be spiders?
Spiders in your ramen? Like... out of thin air, a brand new ramen restaurant opens in town. It's adored by everyone. Once people take a bite, they can't... I know, Gotta be risky, right? Day and night, the queues stretch out the door. The shambling customers stuff themselves dish after dish, while the blind owner sits silently behind the counter, grinning and polishing his gleaming knives. Totally legit. See it every day. Nothing to be suspect there. You are determined to discover what makes this ramen so enticing. What is its true power? Dog meat? Human meat? Flesh of the gods themselves. I mean, it's always human meat, right? Like that's like...
Well, like I mean, it's MSG, right? Yeah. Like that's the...
It's MSG, yeah. Okay, so to advance this mystery, investigate the circled location. As you progress, the location and the rules may change. Okay.
So can you do multiple mysteries at once then?
I don't know. Dumpster dive. Discard 2 items to complete. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to travel to... Oh no, wait.
I think it's interesting when a game like this like uses the word cards in like openly like that.
Yeah. I thought I was going to... Why have I got... I was going to this ramen restaurant, wasn't I?
Well, yeah, you can travel to investigate the current location apartments, but now you can... What's under the circle? Is that... Oh, you're already there.
Yeah, that's the apartments.
So what are your choices of where to go? Can you not just go to town?
That is downtown, yeah.
Look at downtown.
Okay. Well, I don't know. It doesn't say that's where the ramen restaurant is.
Investigating restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so she had the ramen.
Yeah. These days she's moderating a web forum. You've changed, man. You've changed. You're into that forum stuff now. So what do you think? Coffee? Chat?
I think we should chat. Well, I suppose, yeah. Like, I feel like, yeah.
Let's not pay for coffee yet, right?
Let's not pay for coffee.
No.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so in between conspiracy theories and Bigfoot sightings, you hear a worrying rumor about an old god slowly awakening to rule the earth once again. Could this be the reason for recent horrific events? We got some XP, but we lost a reason from chatting to our friend. Okay, watching the local news, you spot a familiar street. It's a feature about the newest ramen shop. Okay. Food critic has a manic look as he describes the ramen. His description makes your stomach churn. Okay.
Churn in a good way? Does your stomach churn?
No, it doesn't. No. Sure, it never churns in a good way. Okay, so I think this circle means I'm supposed to go here.
No, that's where you... Oh.
Because I was down, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Let's investigate the apartments.
Okay.
Why that? How? I don't know. Loud knocking wakes you up in the middle of the night. Open up! Shouts the deep voice from behind the door. I know you're there. Get closer to the door and ask what's the matter, or...
Don't mess around. Call the police.
Call the police.
They might have a broken bottle.
If only we had a broken bottle, right? The man escapes when he hears the police siren, but before he goes, he draws an unfamiliar symbol in blood on your front door. God, these guys are just drawing all the time. It's just a bunch
Plus
of
3% Doom.
Doom, yeah. Doom is up here. I don't know what it does, but it's never good. Obviously, never good.
Investigate. Neighbour. Can you click on the neighbour? Can you talk to your neighbour? Is that what that is?
So you can see the restaurant through the staircase's window. So I think the restaurant is supposed to be quite close to our house. I think that's what's going on. Mm-hmm. Right? You watch the door for hours, but never see any of the cooks enter or leave.
Uh-huh.
So it costs Doom to talk to our neighbour, but we could get an ally.
Okay.
So you knock on your friend's door and wait. I'm really busy today. Let's hang out some other time. Don't you know what's at stake here, buddy? Okay. So we didn't boost our Doom at least, but so this is the weird thing. Like, obviously, there's also weird things that I'm still trying to work out. Like, I can just keep hitting this deck of cards, basically, right? Like until I find what I need to find out.
Yeah. But is that what you meant to do?
I have no idea. Like, to be honest, I have no idea. But that doesn't seem right, does it? Like, it seems like these locations could give me more interesting clues than just hitting the apartments each time.
I don't know. Like, is it suggesting... Like, is this like the school thing where you were in the school and you click, in a way?
Oh, I guess...
So I think you're...
The apartments are different from home. I think that's what maybe was confusing.
Yes, that's true. I think that's... Yeah.
Oh, God. Raining blood. Woman jumps out of her apartment covered in gore. Between sobs, she tries to explain what happened. She was taking a shower when suddenly the shower had started spraying blood. A trail of blood leads into the dark apartment. What do you reckon?
I feel like those two shouldn't be separate. I think we should do one then the other, but whatever.
I only got time for one.
Let's. Well, we should probably check the bathroom, right? Because we want to investigate rituals.
Okay. Knowledge check success. You don't enter the bathroom. Okay. Instead, you go straight to the building's boiler room. One pipe coming from the ground looks like it was welded to the central system recently. Where does it lead?
That's not very mysterious. That's not like if it's that is mysterious. But I mean, if someone's just piping blood in, that's not old goddy, is it?
No. True. Okay, so I can't click on here for any effect. So it says the only true way to investigate is just get into the restaurant itself. Well, obviously, but there's no travel to? So I can keep investigating around the apartments. Maybe I'll find a way into the...
Yeah.
Any of these two?
That does seem a bit weird, doesn't it?
Yeah. Not wanting to...
If that is what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, that's right. Not wanting to wait for an elevator, you decide to take the rarely used stairs. You suddenly trip, but grab the railing in the last second. When you get up to inspect what caused you to trip, you freeze in terror. It is slowly standing up. They've done a good job with the enemies, haven't they? Like, it takes a moment for you to realise what you're actually looking at, and then you're like, oh god. Right, so we don't have a weapon here, but we can just like punch this guy.
Okay.
Oh, it can't.
It's a ghost?
Yeah.
Oh.
Can't hurt a ghost enemy.
So can we run away?
I thought there was something about not being able to run away because
running on stairs is dangerous.
Important. No, there you go. The invisible web prevents you from running from this encounter. I think that's to do with the old god rules that were at the start of the... Oh. Yeah. So what we could try, right, is we can try and do... Clap and bow, right? And hope that... And hope.
We can pray.
Pray.
Yeah.
Okay, here you go.
Ooh. Yes, we can ask for an apology.
We can ask for an apology.
Why are we fighting with this guy?
Because he jumped us, basically.
Yeah, but like he clearly fell down the stairs, right? So.
Yeah, but now he's an angry spirit.
Sean.
He's an angry spirit.
Okay.
So we can deal 6 damage at the cost of 1 funds, or we can just deal 2 damage by severing their... So, like, alright, we'll pay 1 money and we'll...
Sever their ties to our world.
Yeah. Let's try that. It's not very efficient. I'm missing 40 points here. I don't like that. So I'm going to pop in... I'm going to pop in a bow, just in case that helps. I'm gonna do a bunch of things, like including bow. Okay, ritual was too short to have any effect. I wondered if you could like stack them, maybe.
Can you stack the bowing and clapping?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they're cumulative.
I think Nacho's saying that the doing the graphics like this aesthetic makes everything look more horrible.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. There's something unsettling about all of this, and it's not just.
It's not just the theme and the content.
No, I think it's like for me. I guess it's because it reminds me of This reminds me of things maybe that I was looking at when I was a kid that I shouldn't have been, and so like there's like that emotional stuff there. It's like making me think of those adventure games, those choose your own adventure books, and so that's like really kind of. I don't know, something about it, something about this style that I think is not quite the same as. Maybe because you have to imagine more. Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, a bit like when we were kind of discussing what we were going to do when we were making it home, and like I was like, wow, there's a ton of like streamers who just exclusively stream building games. I was like, we should really like make a game that appeals to that audience. There are a ton of horror games and people who stream exclusively horror games. Like that has always surprised me. Like because I just didn't think it was that popular, and it really, really is. And they are like I don't know enough about horror games to know how much variation there is in the genre, but from an outsider's perspective, there just seems to be a lot of kind of first-person gore fests.
Yeah.
Right. So like I'm interested that this things like Cultist Simulator that we played on the show a while back, like they're taking kind of horror elements and maybe trying to do something a little bit less like blunt force with them. Yeah. Which I think is interesting. So looking at this, we're at the gravestone. Like I don't know why I'm at a grave site. Like I went downtown, So
what happened to the guy with the twisted corpse? Did you get him?
we got him. Yeah, we severed his existence.
Oh, you severed his ties to the world.
Like a pro. Yeah. We're going to confront this stranger.
That's some like Death Stranding shit right there.
So you whirl around and see who's behind you. Luckily, the other person is a kind old lady who points you to the tombstone you were looking for.
You were looking for a tombstone?
Again, like, so I think some people would find this really frustrating, but I actually, again, like, this happens to me in like those kind of board games all the time.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you find a note someone left for you.
It better be about ramen.
Oh yeah, where is this note then? Where's the note?
In your items? Like...
It's not here. Item storage. Let's have a look. No, there's no stored items here.
Have you not got any kind of inventory? You've got...
Nothing in my inventory. I think it's kind of weird. Right, items. No, yeah. Spells. See nothing in spells. Okay.
That smell around the restaurant is overpowering. Grease, rot, and is that blood?
It's always blood.
Yeah.
Always blood. So we're here.
Oh, the ring's changed.
It moved to downtown. That's why I went to investigate downtown, which is when we went to the cemetery.
Okay.
Which is, I was a bit surprised. Stop right there. You hear a voice coming from behind you. You won't destroy my life's work. Okay. This is an obsessed man.
Obsessed man. Huh.
So, not a ghost by the looks of it. So we can just punch him and kick him to death. Or we can look for an improvised weapon.
Oh, yeah, do that. Roll for whatever.
And I think we'll try to... Oh, we can't dodge. We can't brace for impact, unfortunately.
Do you know what? I need to get back into... what was that game that I played on stream that was out, like, must have been about a year ago now. It was like a narrative game where you're the detective trying to remember who wakes up, can't remember anything.
Oh, Disco Elysium.
Yeah.
Did you not finish it?
No, I didn't really play it much after that stream.
Okay.
I think I need to... I've been trying to find a game that I could sink into. That might be one to go back to. I've still been kind of like... I don't know, like I've been dipping into games, but since Last of Us 2, I haven't really like fallen into a game. You know?
Fair enough.
Yeah, and that's just pointing out this kind of feels almost like Pokemon-esque.
Yeah.
That style of thing.
It is, except with you, like, I think for this, like, and I'm not sure whether this is a good or bad thing, better, whatever. Like, there's quite a lot here to kind of keep an eye on.
Yeah.
And keep doing. So, like, I'm sure there's more to this. Like, I remember Pokemon being quite a simple and in some ways very elegant combat system.
Yeah.
But it is kind of designed for young kids to be able to get their head around quite easily, whereas this is a bit more involved. So, like, for instance, I've had to check, okay, what's my chance to hit? It's pretty low, so I'm going to prep this strong attack. Okay, what does that leave me points to do, and so on and so forth. So, I think there is an opportunity to kind of get this. So I think he's only got 1 HP left, so yeah, we kill him.
Yeah.
Why we kill him, I don't know. It's finally your turn to order. 1 ramen, please. The owner grins. So I guess the point is that you have to deal with a certain number of encounter cards before you get to the final one. So let's investigate.
So is it? Yeah. Okay.
So it's a bit more on rails than you might initially think.
But it's an interest. So like, I guess from my point of view, okay. So thinking about this in terms of how this is different to like a board game. If it was a board game, you would know how many cards there were in the kind of event card.
You'd probably be told,
right?
Yeah.
You'd probably or you would know. You'd probably put in a couple of event cards and shuffle them. What are kind of games, like board games like this? I've not like.
That's a good question. I mean, for me, it does remind me of the Eldritch Horror board game, of which there is an Arkham Horror version, and the Eldritch Horror board game. It's a bit like, so you have like the map of the world, and you can go to different locations, and you draw cards that are these kinds of events based on that location deck, and like it's often like. You meet a brain in a jar, and it tells you that the portal behind you is closing, and and you have to do something. And if you take a test and you win, great. If not, bad things happen. So I think it reminds me a lot of that, with a kind of an extra detective element of trying to solve this mystery. Yeah. So we don't have a map, so we're just gonna have to get lost, which means. Bad things happen.
Yeah. Playmaker saying it is pretty much like fully a board game to be translated. It's I guess what's been interesting for me is like I didn't know that up front, so it was kind of, which I think is, I don't know, that's kind of what I'm finding interesting is that it is that, right?
Yeah.
But they're kind of not completely open about that. Maybe I don't know. Like, I'm not saying that like that when I say they're not open, it sounds like I they're trying to conceal it, but that's not what I mean. I mean they're not on the nose about it, apart from like the odd set bit where it says like discard 2 item cards.
Yes, because like you said, it's quite interesting to have a game that uses that word so openly, that isn't really obviously a digital card game or a digital deck builder or something like that, because it has RPG elements. Like it wears that pretty much on its sleeve in terms of like stats and items and spells and stuff like that. It's like classic RPG stuff. We're trying to investigate this shop. Okay. Walking through the park, you find a logo. I just want to see if we can get this ramen one done before we end the stream. So I'm going to keep clicking through. When you get some information. Alright, we're taking this little girl back. I think we are. I didn't trust the police after the last time.
What happened with the police last time? Oh, we rang them and...
They kind of showed up, which is fair.
Were they scared that... What do you mean? What did they do wrong?
Nothing wrong, just nothing particularly right.
You rang them, they turned up.
Yeah, and the doom went up. I don't know. I wanted something like
they could have cleaned your door, I suppose. They could have like maybe cleaned that. They could have looked at that and
caught the guy.
You know what? We'll stay around a bit. We'll chat. We'll make sure you're okay. Then we'll leave. But then, do you know what? You weren't any bad. The lady kind of ran out covered in blood, and you were like, deal with it. And then you ran to the boiler room to check.
Yeah.
So I mean,
as it says, the decisions
stones
will
and everything.
Haunt you, so. I mean, look at this. This has not gone well. I was trying to do a good Samaritan thing here, and so something like the terrified mother slams the door. Oh,
that's the worst thing. That's like a no, like, isn't it?
Yeah. We got some experience, but -2 stamina is pretty brutal. Oh, okay. So now we're at this investigating the lab. Right,
yeah, and blood's everywhere.
With the slick vial, you fill a vial with soup. God, sorry, and walk out without tasting the weird dish. Okay, so then we're going to take it to the lab. So this fella here can figure it all out.
Yeah. Okay.
With pulling some of the delicate strings, you get the ramen into the lab. Is that kind of a pun on ramen? Delicate strings? I don't know. While handing over the gathered material, you hesitate. What should you send to the laboratory? Well, we don't have anything else here.
Ramen.
Just ramen.
I had ramen on the weekend, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was the first time I had it in ages. So.
Did you order in, or did you?
Yeah, from Wagamama's.
Nice. A mere day later. That's a pretty good turnaround. Friend rings your door. Her face is pale, and in a shaky hand, she holds an analysis sheet. You usher in and bolt the door. You feel ill looking at the charts. While they couldn't identify some of the particles, they did discover a highly addictive drug in the broth. I wonder if this is an option for.
Ill?
Why do we feel ill?
like, yeah, I suppose like the shock of.
Yeah, I think so.
I was expecting to say it was like human blood or something.
No, that'd be too obvious. Too obvious.
Yeah,
but I wonder if there's another option here that we're not getting because we haven't done something.
Or they've just got that UI set up with 2 buttons.
Possibly. A week later, police and an official stand where the ramen restaurant used to be. Police and an official stand. Okay, sorry. Nothing remains but a gap in the street.
And an official stand.
Yeah. No, so it's gone. Like that.
Easy.
We dug too deep.
Well, yeah.
Okay,
I won't make the joke about the owner not seeing it coming. But
you'd like to believe that was the end of it, but snippets in newspapers from other cities unsettle you. Brief articles about an exciting new ramen restaurant opening and its mysterious owner keep showing up. You can no longer eat noodles without feeling ill.
That's the worst.
Yeah, there's a lose-lose situation, right? Okay. So we got ending B for Rancid Ramen. And for solving that mystery, we get 30 XP. The Doom counter goes back a little bit. We get +1 reason, +1 stamina, and +1 to our day counter.
So something here that I want to just point out is it says it's like this game is so like on the nose with what mechanically is going on. Like with the idea of ending B. So you immediately know, okay, there's like this many other endings.
Yeah.
Compare it to like maybe the way that we do games, and we don't tend to do that. Like we've been talking a lot about that with Making It Home, and like when we're thinking about the endings and what you do in third act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it needs that because like you and I were kind of at points struggling to find the connectivity between things, right? Like, so imagine if it wasn't doing that as well.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's, it needs to do that. It definitely needs to do that. So the old god stirs. Click here to reveal its effect. Okay, so there is an arcane storm.
I'm literally now seeing the board. Like I can now. This feels so much like a board game now.
Yeah.
I can almost see it laid out on a table, like with the okay, now pick a card from the blood deck.
Yeah. So I'm wondering like then. So I like during like different parts of lockdown, I've played some games with friends collectively over like Skype and whatever, because like they haven't wanted to buy the game or whatever, and we played like narrative-based games, like we played through Firewatch and things like that.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if this could be kind of a good game for that as well, if they could get behind the aesthetic and the theme and stuff like that. Like it's a puzzle game, but it's like pretty. It's like playing a board game over Tabletop Simulator or whatever, where only you need to own it, kind of thing. Or as like, Dave Soft talking there in chat about kind of D&D, which can work remotely over computers and things like that quite happily, isn't for everyone, but something like this might be. So I think there's a lot to deep dive into here, definitely, and kind of play some more with.
Playmaker saying the different endings also have gameplay purpose, where the mystery wears off, and they have different effects and penalties.
Yeah, so they've tried to make it quite clear, I think, that our decisions matter, right? Like, and that seeing those different endings, like the fact that we can go to the school on this kind of run, as it were.
Yeah. No, I think it's really neat. I think it's really, really cool. Like, I really like it. I really, really like it. I don't like. It's probably not a game I'd buy. Like, how does that work then? Playing on Skype and stuff. Do you? Is it, like you said, narrative games and like? How do you do? Is it like the kind of thing you play on a couch together or something and talk about the decisions.
Yeah, and I normally it's not very high tech, and for what we do, we just share the screen, and so that does limit what you can do. Some games just don't work that way.
There's a game. I don't know if it will still be in the best selling on Steam. I wish I could. It's like a horror game, like adventure game, that's been designed so that you can play it as a group, and some of you take on different characters. It's like a trilogy of them. Oh man, it's called A New Hope or Hope.
Oh, okay, I'll Google that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, let's see if I can find Little Hope. So the Dark Pictures anthology.
Oh, okay.
I was wondering, maybe that's something. I was wondering whether I should have suggested it around Halloween time that we could do it, but
yeah, because I've already made the joke about doing a game after Halloween. So
I'm going to drop a link to the Little Hope into the chat for people to have a look at. But have you played it, Frozen? Like a little
suggest he has in the chat. Yeah.
So you can so you can play it co-op with like two people. If you're playing it in co-op online, you go in your separate directions and eventually kind of meet up.
Oh, okay,
every now and again. You can do a local co-op, which I imagine you could do on Skype or something. And it's got a bit of that feeling of like, I don't know if so like me and Joe would play the Telltale Walking Dead games kind of together and talk about the decisions.
That's basically I think like within the group I showed them a couple of games and they really gelled with Firewatch and didn't get on with Night in the Woods as much, and I think the reason was, like, if you can remember playing Night in the Woods on stream, there just weren't as many active decisions as often. So I think like the Walking Dead Telltale games would be my next go-to as well. Because I think
the thing about Walking Dead is that, and actually this is a real strength of the game, is that there are times in that game where you have a limited time to make a decision.
Oh yeah, sure.
And it's really like, I remember that, like particularly the first of those games in particular, that was like really, there was a moment where you ended up picking life or death, like you decided whether or not a character would live or die, and you had like split second to make that decision.
Sure.
Which is like and I thought that was a really like, using games, that's something that you can only get through games, right? Is that you're given that, you're put in that position of having to make a split-second decision, and like, it was very clever. I thought they aimed to make me feel a thing, and I felt a thing.
Yeah, for sure.
So Man of Medan is the other one. So a trashy B movie horror game, a really enjoyable seasonal game. Not sure about the new one. I've heard good things about the new one. Wolf Among Us, I have heard of, and I've heard good things about, but I've never actually done it. In Mass Effect 3, Dave starts mentioning. I was thinking about Mass Effect actually. But because that's one when you were saying like about choices.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I've not played the third one. I played the first two. I started playing the third one, and for reasons I just kind of like stopped playing it, but they're re-releasing all that as like a remastered things. So I might pick that up and play through them again, I think, but it's a heck of a lot to play through them again.
Yes.
Until Dawn is Until Dawn a dark anthology, or is it So I can remember Until Dawn, but like, I've heard of it, but I can't remember. It's not on Steam. Oh, the first one about Out of the Three. Okay, cool. Yeah, they're kind of interesting. Oh,
sorry, I was just like, I just popped back to my house, started doing things just while you were chatting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see. Okay. So Luke is saying it's not necessarily part of the series, but its spiritual successor.
Okay. Okay, that's nice. You can interact. Some of this stuff. Okay, so
you got to push Q.
Push Q. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You want me to end the stream of pushing Q? Okay. So let's see what. Yeah, you just die.
Nice.
Just die.
Like it. And you got an achievement.
Yeah, and I managed to solve one mystery. So that was definitely
Solved the mystery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like it. It. We need to use that for some kind of mystery in our games, right? Like that idea of having a
or just a you die button.
No, the post-it. Well, we could just have a you die button. That would be. We can do that too. But oh wow, actually, do you know what? We need to in one of the video, if we do like when we launch Making at Home, we should try and do. Hopefully, I hope we can launch Making at Home. Maybe we probably will still be in. Anyway, let's not go there. Like some kind of post-it note on my coffee maker that says like, that you do the thing on there. And you like it just Anyway.
Cool. So this has been World of Horror. The kind of a really interesting kind of aesthetic to a game that really dives into that retro. But looks beautiful. I think it's fair to say. Like once you get over the visual kind of density of it, like I think which is a really interesting thing to say about a game like this and the aesthetic. You can I found it a lot easier in 2-bit, and I found it a lot easier to get to grips with as we played through a couple of missions, which makes total sense. Has that kind of board game vibe, which I think is interesting. I think
it's cool. Before we end, is there a new emoji? There's the Pillbug Clever with sunglasses on. Which I think is kind of neat.
Clever with sunglasses on?
Yeah, Lucely. Twitch emote mods.
Oh, nice.
That's good.
Yeah, I haven't seen. Impressive work. Yeah. I mean, you and me, we just don't really understand those things enough, do we? Really, that's the thing.
We still like need to.
So new.
We need to it's on my list to figure out stuff. But thanks everyone. I still am every so often feel pretty happy of all these features we have.
Yeah, we're still just getting. Yeah, there we go.
And come and see us every week, which is awesome. Nice.
See, these people know what they're doing. That's the important thing, Charles. They know what they're doing, and we respect them for that.
Yeah. What's an ocean of oil? They start saying ocean of oil. What's ocean of oil? What's that mean?
What does ocean of oil mean? Oh, Noita.
Okay.
Yeah. So being able to choose options for stuff. Yes. We can do stuff like that. I mean, it would be this kind of game would be okay for Twitch polls and things like that. Should I use the bottle? Should I use the bat? Should I do something else, etc. There we go. Redeemed highlight my messages for 100 channel points. Oh, that's the channel points. We talked about that.
Is that what we were talking about? The thing that we've got?
Yeah. So Luke, again, these guys know what they're doing. We just kind of put things around and see if people can use them, and they can. So that's good.
Yeah.
So this has been World of Horror, a timely horror game. I think we can all agree.
It's like every year when we forget it's like oh shit, it was Groundhog's Day. We should have done something for Psycho 78.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to you bringing a Christmas game in February, so this has been World of Horror. Check it out. It's a fun game if you like mysteries and kind of games that play like board games, or your retro 2-bit, 1-bit titles. And it's not too scary, right? As horror games go, been slightly mildly disturbed, unsettled.
I was a little bit, the spider, the thought that a spider might turn up made me feel uneasy.
That was the worst thing for you, not the person with 3 heads stacked on top of each other wielding scissors.
Okay, that's not okay.
That's fine. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right.
Cool.
Cheers, Sean.
Thanks,
Thanks everyone. See you next week.
Bye.